What's poppin', Saints? I'm Hyatt.
And I'm Jacob.
And this is SFHS Today. Fix your hair, you look musty.
Whoa! You say that one more time, you're gonna end up in the Genesis program, buddy.
What's the Genesis program?
I got no idea. I just said it.
Well, let's send some reporters out and learn. Matter of fact, I think Logan, Riley, and Andrew are perfect for the job. Take it away, boys.
What's up, Saints? I'm Riley Schwab.
And I'm Logan Miller.
And today we're at the Learning Center. Our focus this week is on the Genesis program.
And we got more for you.
Genesis is called Alternative to Suspension. So students that have suspendable offenses here at the high school, instead of staying home for 3 to 5 days, they would be placed at the Genesis program.
Sometimes the mistake that is made warrants a suspension, and other times it warrants Genesis. I feel like if I had to compare the beginning of this year to the beginning of last year when I took over the program, I would say it was a slower start this year. And I see students, I just saw a student just now that said, you won't see me in Genesis this year. So I feel like we're serving our purpose.
What that means is we wanted to have a place for students to go when they had a major behavior referral.
I didn't choose to get Genesis. When I came on to St. Francis Area Schools last September, I was just kind of given a set of responsibilities. And fortunately, because of how I interviewed with the district and how I talked to my now supervisor, she felt it was a good fit for me and with the other programs that I do, because I like to give students the opportunity to feel like a person. Like I don't have to worry about making a mistake. I have to worry about not learning from the mistake. I feel like the world can be very harsh, and right now we need children to be children. And there's so much out there in the world that are kind of pushing kids to be adults too soon. And I like to think that Genesis kind of gives them a moment to be like, hey, let's take the world off of your back. Let's take whatever anxieties that you're dealing with. Let's take whatever stress you're dealing with, and let's try to help you be successful in school.
Hey Saints, that's all we got for you this week on the Genesis program.
And we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
In local news, Nuzette, Danielle, and Haley set their sights on MCSU this week to bring you some info on the club. They're on now with more.
Hey Saints, I'm Nuzette.
I'm Danielle.
And today we're going to tell you about an amazing club we have here at our school.
And why you should join.
Today during lunchtime we will be having button makings and games for Hispanic Heritage Month.
I've been a part of MCSU for 3 years, but I created a group called BIPOC in 6th grade, which is now MCSU at the middle school.
What makes it unique is if you're a person of color or you're just anybody in general and you want to learn more about cultures, people's languages and stuff, I think this club is definitely an open space for that.
I really like when we do our multicultural festivals at the end of the year.
We get to make connections with people. We get to share different ideas.
MCSU is really cool because it's just like student collaboration to show other cultures that we don't normally discuss.
And it's a great place for you to come and bond with other people.
I thought it was really interesting and fun how people from different backgrounds can come together and just share our experiences.
I joined MCSU so I can learn and understand different cultures.
That's all we have for you today. Now, back to Maine.
Thanks, guys. I'll be sure to check it out.
In national news, TikTok has been sued by 14 U.S. states for ongoing controversy regarding its effect on young adults' mental health. This now marks more than 20 lawsuits made against the app, costing the company over $90 million.
In more national news, Hurricane Milton had developed and peaked as a Category 5 storm with winds reaching 160 miles an hour. The confirmed death toll is now over 200 with billions of dollars in losses. The storm is currently fading as a third hurricane approaches.
That's all the news we have for you this week. Now over to sports.
What's crack-a-lackin', Saints?
I'm Kaden.
And I'm Mike.
And this is sports. In national sports news, the Poland family, owners of the Minnesota Twins, are selling the MLB team after 40 years of ownership.
In more national news, the Minnesota Lynx played the New York Liberty last Sunday in the WNBA Finals for Game 2. The game resulted in a score of 66-80 in favor of the New York Liberty, now leaving the teams in a 1-1 series tie.
In local sports, the cross-country season has been well underway for a while now. We sent Owen and Quinn out to catch us up.
Hey Saints, I'm Quinn.
I'm Owen. Have you been wondering who's been running around the school lately? Good thing me and Quinn went out to interview the cross-country team.
I started coaching about 25 years ago, and I started coaching because I was a runner myself. I ran in high school and in college and enjoy running, so I became a coach.
Training usually consists of
2 workouts, usually Tuesday, Thursday, and then in between those days we have recovery mileage, which is about 3 to 4 miles. And then on the for our long runs on weekends, people tend to do anywhere from 5 to even 14 miles. Some people do a week.
We typically meet at the high school for practice. We meet on the track and kind of go from there. As far as where we actually have our meets at, a lot of it depends. A lot of them are golf courses, which is a nice place to be running at. Some of them are parks, and sometimes we go to like a school. It just kind of depends on who's hosting and where we go.
We compete at a lot of golf courses and parks. Some are more hilly than others, and that makes some courses tougher than others.
What do you want your athletes to take from the sport?
The love of running and being able to know that it's a lifelong activity and they can do that throughout their life. Mm-hmm. And just to be good humans, good citizens, and be able to motivate themselves and set their goals for it and be able to achieve something.
We do team bonding activities like we had a team cookout the other week. We cheer for each other at practices and races. And then we do a couple of spaghetti feeds every year.
That's all we have for you this week, Saints.
I will send it back to Caden and Michael in the studio.
Thanks, guys. In more local sports news, the St. Francis Fighting Saints girls soccer team took on Delano last Thursday in a nail-biting game resulting in an overtime shootout. The Fighting Saints took home the win in the shootout with a final score of 7-6. They now proceed to the section final going against Zimmerman in a rematch from earlier in the year. You going to the game, KDX?
I got plans, but I'll be rooting. How about you, Mike?
You bet your sweet Biffy I'll be there.
That's what we like to hear. In even more local sports news, the Fighting Saints football team took on the Irondale Knights last Friday for their last regular season home game and senior night. The game resulted in a score of 47-19.
And in even more local sports news, the St. Francis Fighting Saints tennis team wrapped up their season after sections. We sent out Mike and Will to get more info on how their season went.
We ended up advancing to the second round of the sections, had a really close match with our neighbors to the north, Cambridge. Lost 3-4 in a nail-biter. Is a very tight one, and we had lost to them 1-6 earlier in the year, so we made some improvement on that.
I feel overall I did pretty good. I won the first round, but I lost in the second round to the 2 seed. Yeah, me and Lexa played very well. We beat Andover first round, Forest Lake, and then we lost to Elk River in the third round.
We're coming off a pretty big season. We have a lot of graduation loss. We had an amazing group of seniors this year. We had a top doubles team that only lost 2 times during the regular season. That's going to be hard to follow up.
Definitely sad that I won't be playing with my best friends anymore, but overall I enjoyed all of it. Yeah, it's a bittersweet moment, but I'm excited to go on to the next chapter.
Our season went very well. We had a really successful season last year and try to follow that up. This year we were 15-7 in the regular season, 5-3 in the conference, and took 3rd in the Mississippi 8.
We're both looking at University of Wisconsin lacrosse for tennis right now, but nothing's for sure. Yeah, we checked out the campus and we both really liked it. We're just waiting for the next step with talking to the coach.
We have a number of girls that are showing some improvement from last year to this year that will be filling those places. And we hope to go ahead and keep building on the tradition that the girls this year established.
That's all the sports news we have for you this week.
Now we'll serve it back to Maine.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Couple more things before you go, Saints. Make sure to check out the SFHS Media Instagram for a sneak peek on what's to come next week. If you're also interested in some light reading, our team is currently pumping stories out onto our website, the sfhscrier.com. Feel free to check it out and learn more. And to end off the show, Bowski and Snazzy Snyder went out and brought you this week's RQT.
It's the random question thing. Ding!
Worst life decision I've ever made.
I'm trying to pick out of all the worst things that I've ever done.
No.
Being unkind to people that don't deserve it.
Probably making a YouTube video when I was little. I think I've stolen money from my brother.
Like spending around $800 at the casino, losing it all.
The worst decision I've ever made.
But see, some of my worst has also turned out to be some of my best.
I went to Taco Bell after work and I hit a beaver and almost totaled my car.
Well, I was driving to school one day and a bag tipped over my back seat.
I was driving my truck recklessly in the lower lot and I crashed into a snowbank and totaled it.
I decided to do my student teaching overseas in Denmark, and then I was on the plane and went, what am I doing?
Probably jumping off my cabin's roof and almost breaking my leg.
I decided to grab with my hand and pick it up, and I ran into a tree.
Called Jacob Tilley singing.
And it was like the scariest thing in my entire life. It ended up being good, but not at the time.
Hi, what's the worst decision you've ever made?
Honestly, probably getting in a truck with Mike. You know, I've been scared several times in my life, but never quite like that.
Well, that's all we have for you this week.
Stay spooky, Saints!